Part 2. So the top register in the vase is the largest and most complex and the least straightforward. We cannot determine what exactly is meant, so many art historians and historians themselves have come up with their own. But through the process of saving time and such, we're just going to cover the most popular theories. The center of the scene appears to depict a man and a woman who face each other, and a smaller male that stands between them holding a container of what looks like agricultural produce, which he offers to the woman. So we can also see that, in contrary to the Bible, which we mainly see a patriarchal society, the woman seemed to be very much not only in control, but even deities. And the woman identified such by her robe and long hair, and at one point had an elaborate crown on her head. And here is the top register. I'll try to zoom in. There was some damage to this top register, as you can follow my cursor there. But you can see that these people are trying to give something to her. But the crown, of course, even then would probably represent some kind of royalty. So the rest of the vase. The rest of the vase and the rest of the scene is found behind the reed bundles at the back of Inanna. And the statue on the left carries the cuneiform sign for En, which is the Sumerian word for the chief priest. So this is further proof that this was not only culturally significant, but religiously significant. The statue on the right stands before yet another Inanna reed bundle. And behind the two rams, or these animals, is an array of tribute gifts, including two large vases, which look quite a lot like the work of vase itself. Getting to what I mean, we see that the animals bring forth very large work of vases filled with agricultural products, and the queen being high on perched just seems like a very dignified but we definitely know that that's not the way to go. So in modern times, the work of vase currently stands in the Iraq National Museum in Baghdad. And it was stolen in April of 2003 with thousands of other priceless ancient artifacts when the museum was looted in the immediate aftermath of the American invasion of Iraq in 2003. The work of vase was returned in June of that same year after an amnesty program was created to encourage the return of looted items. But we also know through history, especially around the time of the first Gulf War, that Iraq has been very poor, so stealing these priceless works of art were very common in Iraq long before the year 2003. So, final reflections. I love to study the work of vase because it tells almost in story the entire philosophy, beliefs, and even history of an entire system. I think that's wonderful, and I'm really amazed how people were able to find this find in 1934 after all these years, and the fact that most of it was not that badly damaged. However, what bothers me is that even back then, people did not follow God. God is everything to me, and I'm really pleased with what the scriptures tells us about the Word of God, how it's so powerful, it's sharper than any two-edged sword. That in the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I'm thankful for the Holy Bible and the fact that we don't have to rely on these things. It does show the ancient Mesopotamia area, or the ancient Near East, and the way that happens when people reject God. These places no longer exist. This Sumerian place hardly is mentioned outside of history. So my final reflections are that even though we can learn through history, God has given us that, but it's also important to remember that He is in control, He is on the throne, and only He is to be worshipped.